Yeah, man.
It sends me every time. Yeah, man.
Hey, I'm telling you, you got to do it one of these times. It's going to catch people
As
off
the
guard.
intro.
Though. Yeah.
Yeah.
My voice so much deeper. What up, y'all? Hey.
Well, welcome back to another episode of TaylorMade Podcast. No, maybe one day I'll prepare ahead of time.
That'd be fire. You wrote a little something for it.
Yeah. I'm not a writer though, but we can figure it out.
I'm not a rapper. I'm an adapter.
Yowzers.
Shout out Eminem. I hope he gets saved one day. What's up, y'all?
I mean, yes, but like that was so random.
Think about a gift like that being used for the kingdom.
Yes, that's so true. We haven't been.
My God came back from the grave
goodness.
3 days later. My girl was a Sasquatch, so I told her to shave her navel.
Stop.
What?
Stop.
I'm just telling you, he could have some fire bars
First
for the
off,
kingdom.
that scared me. So the people watching, they're gonna see me jump because I don't even know.
Yeah, why'd you jump?
Because I was like
you're not used to me doing random outbursts throughout the day.
No, but that one like caught me off guard because I was like, oh, we haven't been in this guy's like, give them the neighbor. You know what that was?
I'm sorry.
Well, as I was gonna say before Eminem took over, we haven't been introducing ourselves. Like, what if it's someone?
You're right.
What if they watch like episode 3?
We did it in like the first 2 where it's like,
yeah,
I'm
we're
Jada
like,
and I'm EJ. I don't know why I
this
did
is
my voice
TaylorMade
for you.
Podcast. Yeah, why'd you make your voice so soft?
Yep.
I'm EJ.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we've been slacking.
Well, it's a good thing that this whole episode is about who we are
and what we do.
Come
or
on.
why we do.
Why we do.
We do what we do.
What we do. You
Ooh,
heard the run.
heard the
Put
voice
me on
crack.
FCC worship. All right.
Psych your mind. You moved the pillow.
Was it aesthetic?
I don't know. It's just not our normal setup now.
You're right. And I like to hold one too. It's just like my
You have to fluff it.
emotional support pillow.
It's fluffed. Karate chop. Always karate chop. I don't know. It might be lopsided. I can't see. Yeah.
So basically what happened was we was thinking, all right, we need to make a little testimony video or like explaining who we are. And Aunt, shout out Aunt, made a good point that, you know, for people who don't know us, like family and friends, like maybe this will get out to people who don't know who we are. They have no context.
At all.
He's like, they don't even know if you married. So
well, we are.
We are married.
Check the bling.
Careful. Don't look too close. You might lose your sight in your left eye.
Why the left eye?
Because
you don't know, huh?
I don't really know.
Oh, okay. I thought you had something. I was ready to
Comedic
back
purposes.
you up. Comedic purposes.
It's funnier when you say one thing. Like, stub my left toe. Like, if you specify that it's the left one, it's like funnier than saying, I stubbed my toe. You feel me?
Gotcha.
So I slammed my right elbow into his jaw.
Are you a comedian now?
Might be. My little brother tells me I am, and my mom. That's 2 family members. I'm 2 down. My dad still takes the crown, though. He's the funniest.
He is. He's very hilarious, actually.
We're going to get all the way off topic this episode.
Let's focus. Because every time we do this, we look at the time. We're like, we just started. And that's because we took like 10 minutes to stop joking.
I'm dead.
Talking about everything else.
So, yeah, we wanted to just give y'all a little bit of our testimony, our story, who we are, how this podcast came to be, and what the point of the podcast even is.
Yeah. And going back to the first thing, I'm Jada, by the way. Jada Taylor.
Hey, where the middle name at?
They don't need my government.
Jada Latrice Taylor.
All right, he gave it to you.
JLT, the best sandwich on the block. Goodness inside and goodness.
All right, you gotta stop.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
She don't let me hype her up.
I mean, but like, do I want to be hyped up, described as a BLT?
No, I said JLT. Your initials.
I know, but that's what you're going after.
You're
is
right.
the BLT.
I was alluding to
BLT.
the BLT.
Been talking about that lately a
and
lot.
now I'm hungry. We're going to Chipotle after this.
Yes, we are. We watched a video on TikTok of someone eating Chipotle, and now I want it. So that's where we're going. Even though we just bought groceries. Relatable. It is.
And that's the humble man that I am. I said, you know, babe, we have not been saving.
Yes, we have.
We have.
What do you mean? He just wants
but
us
I
to
said that we haven't, to try to convince you to not get food. But then
my
stomach growled 3 times, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's
we're on it
time's
with
the charm. I got to, looks like I'm going to Chipotle.
He just be on his Krusty Krab. I'm like, come on, man. We are like.
Krusty Krab.
We're the double income, no kid.
Oh, you mean
like
Mr.
population.
Krabs?
Krusty Krab. Oh, Mr. Krab. Yeah. You know what I mean.
He working there, though.
We ain't got no kids. Let's go out to eat.
Part
after we save and pay our tithes, obviously.
Of us getting off topic.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even notice. All right, we're back. Why'd we start the podcast? How'd we get Listen. This is how it happened.
Go ahead, because my version is going to be different. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Oh, well, basically,
you go first.
When we were engaged, we had the idea, because, you know, when you're engaged, or like before you're engaged, you should talk about how does our purpose, you know, line up? Like, what do you want to do? Or what does, you know, God tell you to do? And then we're like, oh, yeah, God tells me to do that too. How can we do that? And then this was while we were engaged during the summer. My mom had podcast equipment because we were talking about, we should do a podcast. And I was like, oh, wait, my mom has podcast equipment. So I called my mom and I was like, hey, Mom, I know you have podcast equipment. Like, can we have it? Basically. I was like, can we have it? I was like, you guys haven't even done your podcast yet because my dad wanted to do one. They will.
Hating on him?
I'm not hating on them, but they will eventually do their podcast. And I believe in my dad.
It's going to be legendary.
It's going to be amazing. And my mom, too. She has a lot of great ideas, too. And I was like, you should let us, you know, have the podcast equipment. Why not? And so my mom, being the great mom she is,
come on, inheritance.
Like, girl, first of all, you're going to have to pay for that because you know how much that costs. And I was like, last time I checked, you're my mother. I'm supposed to get that for free. No, I'm just kidding. But no, my mom.
You smell that? Something spoiled. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Go ahead, babe. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I'm going to clap for that.
It just.
Because that's literally
just
like.
wafted by.
That's like the best spoiled joke you've made since I've known you. Like, I mean, I'm used to it, but that was the best one. No, but yeah, my mom sent this and it was like completely free. And if you've ever looked into like podcast equipment, this stuff is not cheap. So the fact that my parents had it, they weren't using it. And my mom was like, yeah, I'll send it to you. And she sent it. That was like amazing.
Yeah.
Already. However, it took us a while. Took a few whiles. A few whiles. And then a while took a break. And then few whiles came over. And then few whiles came over. And then I was like, okay, all y'all got to go. You know, that's how long it took. People was like, so when y'all going to film y'all podcast? Be like, yeah, we do it next Saturday. Yeah. After the wedding. Yeah. Which wedding? Yeah. And then, well, you want to tell them? And then we finally did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sticking to what I said. Your version ain't my version.
Oh, what's your version? Because that's how I remember it.
And that's crazy because my memory's not failing me this time, and yours is.
How?
We had this conversation when we were still dating. You came over, we were in Washington. We was cuddled up, talking about life. You know what I'm saying? I put my arm around you. I said, girl, this is the Lord. You know, he hey, come on. So
why is you?
That's the preacher stutter. He.
It's like a jingle sometimes.
He put it on my heart. What'd you say?
Go ahead. Nothing.
Okay.
Stay focused.
I was like, babe, I really have this. I feel like I was putting it on my heart to do like a podcast or to at least promote healthy relationships in some kind of context.
That's crazy. My memory, I don't even.
You don't remember this? And then you said, you literally like looked at me shocked and you're like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I know it's going to be tough, but would you be willing to do something like that? And you were like, no, that's not what I'm saying. that was the same thing that I felt.
Oh wait,
You remember this now?
that was like the first
Yes,
time I
the
came to
very
Washington.
first time.
Oh yeah.
And we had that conversation.
That's when I knew I
And-
was sprung because I cried when I had to leave. That's crazy. Long distance problems.
Yes. Well, we have more context on that another time, but we did do long months of 9. Ooh,
Long months of 9
come on, 9 long months
of
of
a whole pregnancy.
distance. But yeah, so that was the first time we had that conversation, and then you basically told the rest of the story, because after
Yeah.
we came back here, did what we did, we got married.
Which is, by the way,
Got
if you
the
don't
equipment.
know, we got married because we had our actual wedding like in Mexico. So we got married actually in July, like months before that.
Uh-huh.
And then we had our like actual wedding.
Yeah, got
'Cause
married
I'm
in a coffee
extra.
shop.
I'm very much extra. Shout out to Minister Greg.
Yeah,
He's the one who married us.
facts.
Yes. In a coffee house shop. Coffee shop. Yeah. And then turned around and then had like an actual wedding ceremony with like everybody else who could make it.
Yeah.
That was fun. Like the video you guys see of us on the beach walking up, that was Ryan. Ryan was there.
Come on, bring to life media.
Yes. The firest video ever.
My bad.
This episode don't even need that. But okay, all right. You feeling the spirit?
Come on. But yeah, so I wanted to share a little bit of vulnerability, even though this is more like a who we are episode.
Mm-hmm.
But this might be encouragement for somebody. It is. That's literally the whole point of the podcast. You know what? Might as well go to this point right here. The whole point of the podcast is encouragement. We've seen examples of healthy relationships. We've seen examples of very unhealthy relationships. We've seen examples of godly relationships. We've seen, and when I say relationships, I mean marriage specifically, and also dating, and like whether it be dating, attempting to be married or not. That's what we're trying to focus in on, is like, what is a godly way to live in this, specifically in the context of male to female relationships, like dating and eventually marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because, as we talked about earlier, it's not because we feel like our relationship is so great. That was one insecurity that held us back from starting the podcast earlier when we said we were going to, is because we felt like, oh, we just got married.
Right.
Oh, we're so young.
Who's
gonna listen to us?
Yeah.
Why would anything we have to say be valuable?
Mm-hmm.
And that was a lie that we definitely both believe from the enemy. And now, I've already heard testimonies, people calling me up. I ain't gonna, put names out for privacy purposes, but people literally called me, texted me saying that, man, look, I'm back in the dating game now because of your podcast. And it's like,
Right.
this podcast got like 20 views a week.
Right. It's definitely not us.
This ain't Jackie Hill Berry and Preston.
Yeah.
This ain't Upset the Gram. This ain't Joe Rogan.
Right.
Like, we're completely satisfied. I mean, in whoever watches it, as long as
Right.
God's doing what he's doing through
Yeah.
us.
We could literally have 5 views a week
That
as
is the
long
most
as God is
impactful
like,
thing, and that's what we're proud of.
yeah. As long as God's being glorified and he's using us to speak to, even if it's one person, that's all that matters.
You think I want to get up on this mic? You think I don't want to be at Chipotle right now? You think if I had it my way, I wouldn't be playing video games right now? But I said, Lord, I'm going to be obedient to you. And I'm going to get up on this mic and spit some
You
fire.
hungry.
I am. But listen, I'll be the first to say, for both of us, this podcast is not out of pride or thinking that we got everything that everybody needs. It's strictly obedience.
Mm-hmm. Heavy on the
If it was up
obedience.
to my flesh, it would not exist. But if it was up to God, then it is as you see. So yeah, some encouragement to anybody who may be in the same place. People don't. and you don't feel like people will recognize what God has put you to do.
That's
Remember,
like
at the end of the day, it's not for their recognition.
right.
It's for whatever purpose God has ordained it for.
Yeah. I have a whole Instagram post that I haven't even posted yet
Mm-hmm.
because literally on that thing, like everything that we're doing is not for us. Like
Yeah.
the whole, so for me, mine was always like, oh, my testimony's so boring. Like nobody would want to ever listen to my testimony, or how could God use me? How could I help, people or whatever? And I literally wrote this. Eventually one day I'll post it. But it was like every sentence that I just said was I, and not, oh God, how can you use my story for your glory? Like, I took what God had and I put myself in there and forgot who God was and how he can use what we have for, other people to draw closer to him,
Right.
And so when we finally stepped out of that, like, mindset, it just felt good to do what God's called you to do. Just really felt
Absolutely.
good. And then it was encouraging to hear people say, oh, we enjoyed watching it, or we look forward to listening, because we know that it's not because we're just like these crazy, amazing people. It's because we're doing something that God's told us to do, and God is, maybe using it, like you said, to heal hearts when it comes to relationships, or, oh my
Somebody
goodness.
just fell off their bed upstairs. Mike didn't probably pick it up, but
not even gonna complain. It's free living. Thank you, Lord. Y'all can fall off the bed all day
some
long.
dust
It's free.
just trickled down. Don't let it get in the mic. Go ahead. What was he saying?
I don't even know, because listen, that like
I might have
startled
to
me.
call somebody.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
All right now.
As long as God gets, the end of the day, as long as God gets the glory, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Move yourself out of the way. Let God use you, and then he'll do the rest.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. You got that from me.
Be careful, yeah. When you in love, you start talking like that. I just posted on my gram the other day. I said, I never thought I would talk in baby speech. And we don't even have a baby yet, and I already do.
Stop, you're scaring the people.
I'm pretty good at it. That's crazy.
So, oh my gosh, I can't believe you just did that. Why?
Some
Okay.
things have to be done.
That is true. So, we were just talking in the car, and we're like, what makes our podcast different, I guess? Is that the word that you want to say?
Yeah.
Or
what sets us apart?
What sets us apart? Not because we think that we're better than anybody on our pod. Like, our podcast is better than every other podcast out there. But if you're new and you're wanting to know, why in the world should I keep tuning in every Tuesday? Why should I listen? Well, this is what we came up with, because I don't want to get it wrong. I'm going to read it. We said that we create discussion around breaking generational curses and turning them into generational blessings for friends and family. So if you don't know, we're coming from parents who broke generational curses, and then we broke the generational curses that they weren't able to, but set us up to break.
Praise him.
Next episode, when you guys come, for those watching, we'll be sitting on the opposite side of the couch. He'll be right here and I'll be there.
Give him praise.
He has too much power in his hands right now. Too much power.
There is power in the name of Jesus.
Shh, don't hurt their ears. They're not going to want to come back.
I know somebody replayed that because that was for them.
Oh my goodness. Okay, come on. My Chipotle is waiting.
You're right.
So we got to focus.
Yeah.
We got to focus. So like I said.
Patterns.
We
curses.
came from people who not only broke generational curses, but also set us up to break generational curses.
Absolutely.
And because of that, that's why we're standing right here. And obviously, we want to make sure that we help our kids do the same thing that our parents did. But our parents kind of set us up to not even, like, our kids just can live life and walk there because they kind of did the work. And then we also did the work as well. So for those who don't know, both EJ and I have very similar, like, upbringings when it comes to, like, our parents. When they had both of us, like me, EJ, and his brother, and me and my brother, when our parents had us, they weren't married. And then eventually they got married. This guy loves to tell that he played the flute at his parents' wedding, so I'll tell it for him.
Come on.
Because if not, he'll break out into a whole thing.
I played one wrong note. You're right. I did break out into it.
I knew it. I tried to help you so that you wouldn't.
This is how y'all pray for me, because my perfectionism when I was a kid, I hit one wrong note, and then like a week later, I was asleep and I said, woke up in a cold sweat thinking about just hitting the wrong note. I'm just playing. That's not true. That didn't happen.
It probably did. Don't try to take it back. It probably did happen.
But I remember hitting every other note right.
Yeah.
And I'll declare the loon, or however you say that song. Anyways.
And then I'm trying to think of some other ones. So yeah, our parents had us, then they got married.
Yeah, and they were also the first to be married and stay married from like the line.
Oh yeah. So
line of our family.
Staying married, yeah, especially like on that side. Like I think out of my mom's siblings, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but my mom's married out of all her siblings, and then on my dad's side, my mom and dad are still married to each other. You know, same for your parents, right? Except for your aunt.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, but almost similar. And then
regardless, they set us up for success in that respect. And we want to do the same and also encourage others too.
Yeah, and our parents, I know for my parents, they were really heavy on, we want you to do better than us, like we talked about in episode 1. We want you to do better than us. We want you to do better than us. So they really set us up to break that. And then I remember when we got married, just thinking about like, dang, like we did that. Like we did it.
Yeah.
We are here. We trusted God. We waited. Now we're married.
Yep.
And now our kids can say, look where we came from, you know. Even though we're proud of what we came from, I know our kids are going to be, and once they understand fully, they'll be even more
for sure
proud of where they came from. So yeah, we just hope that the conversations that we create, not only are they, you know, we want you guys to have fun while you're listening, but we just hope that they're fruitful.
Amen. And
the conversation gets you thinking about the generational curses in your life, even, but more specifically when it comes to relationships and how you can stop that cycle with you and how you can set your future children and their children up for success. Because don't get me wrong, I hope I don't get this wrong.
Wealth, but spiritual wealth and health. Amen.
Hopefully I don't get this wrong. And I probably should have looked that up before we started. So that's me. Error on me. But I know when it talks about like generational curses in the Old Testament, how many generations it goes for. Can't remember the exact amount. So I will look that up and I will come back and re-clarify.
Regardless, you look at that lineage, that part that you skip over when you read. I know because I do it too. Just playing more.
But yeah, when you look, that is a good point. Yeah.
Sinner, Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus redeemed all the way back from Adam, from Abraham. And it's calling us to break.
I'm actually sad at myself for not looking that
It's
up.
okay, babe.
But no.
It's on the dome.
It's on the dome. It's up here. But basically what I was saying is, like, the decisions that we make, it doesn't just affect us. It affects generations. And when I look back at, like, my mom and my mom's mom and my mom's mom's mom, I see that generational thing that's been holding, you know, family back. And I know that for me, for what my mom's done and how she's broken that, and for what I'm going to do for my kids and how I'm going to continue to make sure that, you know, stays broken, I'm excited to kind of dive deeper into that through this podcast and then bring you guys along as we, you know, talk and dissect all of that out.
And you and I are both, I mean, you're a teacher, We both serve at and in the church. I've worked with kids for the majority of my life, whether it be camps.
Yeah.
Now in the degree, Jada worked at FCC Kids or volunteers there, and man, nowadays with technology, with internet, TikTok, theology, views about relationships, like some kids,
Wild.
Andrew Tate is their dad when it comes to information that they get about relationships. Sneeko. Like these random guys who have these very destructive ideals and things to say about women, and in addition to pornography, all the other things that these young men have access to.
Yeah.
And women. Spouting these ideals that are just completely unbiblical and unfruitful.
Yeah.
And they're just going to reproduce men and women who don't know how to have a healthy and a marriage, and certainly not a godly marriage.
Right.
And so that's part of what we're trying to combat in doing this, and why we feel the Lord has put us here to do so, is because if we can just provide, at least for whoever may listen, for our small group, some counter to that, this is actually a godly way. Here are some ways that we do things.
Yeah.
Some ways that other people have shown us to do things who have a successful, long-lasting marriage and healthy life.
Yeah.
Happy. You know what I mean? And when they have all these voices telling them either that they will never have that, if their experiences may set them up to think that they can never have that.
Right.
Or the voices that say, our world sucks and this is how.
Yeah. Like, what you want is not out there for you.
What you want ain't out there.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, that's just a straight up lie from the enemy.
Our God's too good for that.
He's too good.
Yeah. He's too good to let us down. Too good. Too good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm start preaching in here.
Stop.
Look, see, we said it was only going to be 15 minutes, but we made it.
We made it.
We got sidetracked about
45
times.
Hopefully y'all followed along. Hopefully. Yeah. So
man, let's end with just thanking everybody, man. Like, regardless of how you found out about this podcast, thank you so much for tuning in. It does encourage us to keep going, obviously, when we see that people want to see it, and when we hear feedback. We do appreciate comments. If you do have a comment, throw it down in YouTube below if you're watching, or if you're listening, you can shoot us a text or something, or go follow our Instagram. Yeah,
and you can DM us if you have questions, or maybe if you have a topic like, hey, how would you guys deal with this?
Questions are so important.
Yeah.
I don't have too much time to talk about it.
Yeah.
But we love questions. Questions make up, like, we ask each other questions in dating. My mentor asks me questions. I ask my mentees questions every week. Like, if you have questions about faith, that's a whole other message. I can't talk about it right now. But questions are great.
Questions are great. We will take
find
questions.
answers without questions.
Yeah. We are not opposed to questions. We are not like just sitting here like, oh, we have idea after idea. Sometimes questions are great.
Yeah.
And it helps us know what, like, the people who are listening, what did you want to hear? What did you get from the last episode? Like, his mom just asked us a few questions, and in our last episode we're like, hey, we were going to talk about a little bit about that, but hey, that's actually a great topic. Like, yeah, let's talk about that more, and let's clarify and make sure that people understand, and, and then let God do the rest. But yeah, hopefully you got it.
You know what it is. Thank you so much again for tuning in.
So excited.
Bless. Yeah.
That you're here.
Our camera cut off, but the Lord never cut off his blessing.
Peace.